Let me show you this tweet. We have this from Will Kane. Ugh. Wait till you see this. He says the lies never stop. In the first tweet, if you can see it, it's The Independent. It says, Kyle Rittenhouse cleared of murder after shooting dead 2 Black Lives Matter protesters. Full story. Teenager who shot 3 black men with a rifle found not guilty on all charges.
Sick.
Absolutely not true.
They have to know.
Isn't it crazy?
Absolutely insane. And I think I said this last time that almost every progressive I know, which believe it or not, I have a lot of progressive friends, almost all of them are under the misconception that the people who died were black, that they were innocent protesters. And even as of a few hours ago, I tweeted something positive about Rittenhouse. I forget exactly what I said, but a lot of the replies were from my more liberal supporters who were like, wait, is this true that one of them was a pedophile? How do you not know that at this point in the case?
Doesn't that teach us?
It's because of this.
It teaches us just how poorly people are getting themselves involved in the details of this case.
But most everyone has an opinion.
Oh yeah, everybody's got an opinion, but almost no one is actually taking the time to look at the details of the case.
Because people would rather just be lied to by the corporate media. And I love that we talked about how this is such a win for the simple fact that it's such a loss for corporate media.
Yes.
And I think it's waking people up, this particular case.
So there's more. In Will Kane's tweet, he also has this tweet from the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee.
Yeah.
This is the organization that helps give money to Democrats running for Congress and they said, it's disgusting and disturbing that someone was able to carry a loaded assault rifle into a protest against the unjust killing of Jacob Blake. First of all, there was no assault rifle. And a lot of people are like, stop saying, you know what really bugs me is when the gun to a people say there's no such thing as an assault rifle. Stop. There is. It's a select fire rifle. That's typically what it refers to, and most people understand that. But we have to use definitions properly. The left says assault rifle to mean rifle. It's meaningless.
Yeah. So
I'm going to use the correct definition. There was not a single person with an assault rifle, but more importantly, Jacob Blake's not dead.
Right. Exactly.
He's alive.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, he's partially paralyzed. And so they said unjust killing. That's the Democrats putting out their message. They have no idea what's going on in this world.
Or they know and they're willfully ignorant.
They corrected it. They corrected it after the fact, saying, oopsie, here's the corrected email.
They have no idea what's going on, but they're so comfortable fanning the flames of what's going on, which is so sick because people forget the context in which the Rittenhouse situation even happened. It was because buildings were on fire, people were being hurt, the police were standing down. Like, vigilante justice is only bound to pop up when that situation arises. Like, people have, and I was talking about this earlier, I feel like people have almost like blind spots when it comes to remembering 2020. I think there was some sort of collective trauma that happened to people. People forget how bad it was. It was terrible and people were terrified.
Can I show you guys a story from the night in question? On August 25th, 2020, when all this was going down and the chaos and the riots and everything that happened, we have another story. It's from the New York Post, August 26th, 2020. This is, I'm assuming that this story is about August 25th, considering it was published the following day. But it may have actually been from before and been one of the things that Kyle Rittenhouse saw. So this will be a sort of correction. I'm not entirely sure, but I said before that I thought videos like this inspired the people who went out there with guns. From the New York Post. Elderly man defending store during Kenosha riots has jaw broken. I mean, that's the gist of the story. I can't show you the images. It's graphic and horrifying. An elderly man watching his store be ransacked and burned to the ground. And he's got a fire extinguisher spraying at the door and at people. And someone runs up and cracks him in the side of the head with a rock, dropping him. This elderly man laying on the ground, disoriented, unconscious, bleeding from the face. And then some other people run up and try and render aid. I can't imagine what it must be like for the people of Kenosha to know this happened.
Yeah.
And to have had this trial. But I will say, there are videos that have been going around where people are filming random cars and the cars stop and they'll be like, hey, like, what do you think about what happened? And they're like, Kyle won, like, this is a good day. And they're cheering for him like he was defending himself. The people of Kenosha, I think, know what it means when people are destroying your town. And they know what went down that night and they know who Kyle was. And I mean that figuratively, not literally knew he was, but they knew what kind of kid he was and what kind of town they had. And I think the people of Kenosha overwhelmingly were in support of him.
It was disproportionately minorities as well that were harmed by all of the fires and all the rioting and the looting.
That's right. That's right. It was a poor multiracial community. And that's the same thing that happened in Ferguson.
Yes.
So it's crazy, isn't it?
Kyle Rittenhouse is the worst white supremacist ever.
That's true.
Just shoots white people.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the narrative is just insane that they persist. I have friends. I've lost friends over this. They don't respond. They're not responding to me. I've had friends for years, and I see them posting about Kyle Rittenhouse, and they're saying really awful things, comparing him to Charles Manson. And I send a message, and I'm just like calm and passionately like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Did you watch the trial? Do you know what's happening? And they just ignore me outright.
What do you think it is about this?
Well, I think what happens is when I post something like Kyle Rittenhouse is the clearest case of self-defense I've ever seen. And that's a quote from Destiny, who was a left-wing streamer. But he's correct. He was correct the whole time. He got in trouble. Twitch just banned him from the professional program, whatever it's called. I post things like that. What do you think happens then when I have friends who are trapped in the Matrix and they hear from the Independent a white supremacist cross state lines with an assault rifle to hunt down or kill Black Lives Matter protesters? They see me post it was self-defense or that Rittenhouse should be not guilty, and they're thinking, I can't believe my good friend is now supporting overt white supremacists who are murdering people. What's happened to this country? But they just don't know because they're trapped in the Matrix. But I can't even, and this is where the problem is. Politics flows in one direction. I message them like, let's talk, and they say no. I'm willing to say, I need you to see the truth, but they don't want to do it. They like where they live. They like the hate.
Yeah.
It's tough to shatter people out of the Matrix through text. Never really works.
Well, they don't see anything else but the corporate media. So when you have the same trash regurgitated to you, repeated after one lie and another lie and another lie, you build this huge foundation that has absolutely no merit in reality, and it's being propagated not just by the corporate media, not just the people who pull the strings of the corporate media, but also the puppets of the people who pull the strings. Of course, that's politicians like Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris just came out with a statement about this entire situation, and she said, quote, "This verdict really speaks for itself. As many of you know, I spent a majority of my career working to make the justice system more equitable, and clearly there is a lot more work to do." And I'm like, B, you put innocent people behind bars
And bailed out the rioters. And bailed out the rioters.
Yeah, not only bailed out the rioters, not only called for criminals to be let out of jail, but knew that she had evidence that someone was innocent, and she still decided to vindictively hold that person in jail for over 2 years. Nonviolent drug offenses. She put people behind bars. There's a mosaic collage right now of all the black people she put in jail.
That's great.
I will not sit here and listen to you besmirch Kamala Harris,
Our president.
Our president.
Briefly president for 2 hours.
No. She did not just for no reason keep people who are innocent behind bars. She needed them to work as slaves to put out fire for $1 an hour. Kamala Harris kept people in prison, denying their parole, so that she could use them for cheap labor to fight wildfires.
Is
that woman is beyond despicable. That is an atrocity to commit against another human being.
I've
but
heard
I was
this a
kidding,
lot.
by the way. Luke is correct.
Is it confirmed that was her intent, or is this just like kind of people are like assuming because of evidence?
It's her intent. So it was someone in her office who said it. At first, a lot of people were saying she kept innocent people in prison beyond, she kept people in prison beyond their term to use as cheap labor. The full story is people were up for parole, and her office's position was do not grant them parole. Yeah. We need slave labor to fight wildfires.
Yeah, and there's so many instances. There's an article in LA Weekly that's titled Daniel Larson's An Innocent Man Says Federal Judge, So Why Is He Still in Prison? He was in prison because of Kamala Harris saying, I want a clean, pristine record. Most of these state prosecutors are sociopaths who rather have a clean victory, who rather, of course, have a win column rather than do the right thing. There's so many innocent people that have been thrown in jail because of overzealous, insane, psychopathic state prosecutors, and I think there's a big argument to make here about our current vice president being one before with her track record, which is absolutely atrocious.
But did she make this statement while she was president for 2 hours today when Biden was getting his butt played with, or what happened?
Well, Biden also came out with kind of contradicting statements, so that whatever he was doing, whatever he got done to him, also probably maybe, I don't know, had some kind of effect because he was flip-flopping like crazy.
Oh, really? There's
really?
I do want to do a longer discussion on this because I have some tweets about it, but I want to add to this. There is something deeply wrong in this country when you have to agree with injustice to placate one political faction. It should be clear. Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense, and we all knew it. We've had on the show 7 witnesses from various moments on that night. Some direct witnesses, Richie McGinnis himself, who was named in the complaint, who rendered aid to Rosenbaum, has been on this show more than once, and many other people who were there that night, and they told us what happened, and they showed us the video, and we all said, looks like self-defense. But now, because there are people who are lied to or just don't care, the president, the vice president, ACLU, and all these institutions say, well, we need the support, so just lie to them.
Yeah. The verdict's only surprising if you've only been watching the corporate media's spin, but the reaction hasn't surprised anybody. Yeah. Everyone knew that this was primed to go off.
That's the problem, though, is that the video of what transpired that night has been available for over a year. Mm-hmm. And there are so many people that were so comfortable having this opinion, have never watched it. Because if you do watch it, in my opinion, you can't walk away with any other determination other than, yeah, this kid was defending himself. Bad situation, but he was defending himself. I mean, you have Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks, over a year after it happened, finally saying, oh, yeah, by the way, woke up today, watched the video. I think he did nothing wrong. It's like, really, after a year of you slandering him.
Yep. But
you just do them.
That's what all of these networks do. It's the craziest thing. That's why they're like Tim Pool's right wing. No, the difference between you and me is that I read and I fact check. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.